What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to talk about what are the biggest question marks heading into this 2020 season for our Atlanta Falcons. But as always, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. I really appreciate all the views. I appreciate all of you guys who continue to help grow the channel. Let's get to that 1,000 subscribers. We're about at 300 almost subscribers. So thank you for all of you guys who have recently subscribed. We need 700 more subscribers. Once I hit that 1,000 subscribers, I'm thinking about doing a giveaway of some kind. Maybe I'll give away like a jersey, or I'll give away some Atlanta Falcons gear, maybe a hat or a scarf or something like that. So you guys drop in the comment section what y'all would like me to give away. Once we hit that 1,000 subscribers, I'll go out and get something Atlanta Falcons, some type of Atlanta Falcons gear, and then I'll do some way I'll pull a name from my subscribers and I'll send this item to one of you guys. But I appreciate all of you guys who continue to support the channel. But let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So the question of the day, I've been really thinking about last season. I've been thinking about free agency and how we could improve our Atlanta Falcons team. What has been our biggest weaknesses in the last couple of years? So with that being said, I made a list of things. I'm going to go through some things, a list of the biggest question marks I think that we have going in, heading into this 2020 season. Number one, injuries. Will our Atlanta Falcons stay healthy this season? If you know the 2017 season and 2018 season, or maybe the 2018 season, 2019 season, excuse me, we battled a ton of injuries. In 2017, we had a number of injuries to Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Deion Jones. And the list goes on and on about all of the injuries that we had in 2018. And then in 2019, which was last season, Keanu Neal got injured again, our all-pro safety. Tat McKinley was in and out of the lineup. The two offensive linemen that we brung in, Chris Lindstrom actually broke his foot game one last season. Caleb McGarry had a heart procedure done during training camp, and I believe it was during like the preseason and all of that. We just had a ton of injuries. Desmond Trufant went down with a season-ending injury. Devontae Freeman was in and out of the lineup with injury. So we just been battling injuries the last couple seasons. So one of the biggest question marks is, will we be able to stay healthy? JJ Wilcox, who was brought in to be like an insurance policy for Keanu Neal if he went down with injury, he tore his ACL during training camp. So we just battled a ton of injuries last year and over the last couple seasons. So I believe one of the biggest question marks, number one, going into this 2020 season is, will we be able to stay healthy? You know this is football and you're going to have injuries, but will we have those catastrophic injuries, those season-ending injuries like ACL tears and ruptured Achilles and stuff like that? I don't wish that on my worst enemy, those type of injuries, but will our Atlanta Falcons stay healthy? Will our key players stay healthy? Because it seems like most of the time when our players do have those season-ending injuries or those big injuries where they're going to be out like 8 weeks or 6 weeks, it seems like those injuries happen to our best players over the last couple seasons. Tat McKinley has been in and out of the lineup over the last couple years. Deion Jones got injured 2 seasons ago for most of the season. So we just been battling a ton of injuries. So number one on my list for the 2020 season as a big question mark is staying healthy. We need our Atlanta Falcons to stay healthy, especially to our key players like Deion Jones, Grady Jarrett, Tat McKinley, Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal. We need these guys to stay as healthy as possible. Even Calvin Ridley, he's another player that's been battling injuries over the last couple seasons. So we need these guys to stay healthy. With that being said, number two, on my list of biggest question marks will be our offensive line. I really think that our offensive line is not really being talked about like it needs to be talked about. But over the last couple seasons, the last 2 seasons to be exact, our offensive line hasn't played well. We know in the 2018 season, Matt Ryan was sacked a ton of times. So Arthur Blank, our owner, came out and said that we needed to do a better job at protecting Matt Ryan, and they were going to try to get him some protection and get him some help up front on the offensive line. So Thomas Dimitroff, went out before the 2019 season in the draft. He went out and drafted Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry in the first round of the NFL draft. And those guys were supposed to come in and bolster this offensive line and solidify the offensive line. But last year that didn't play out in the games last season because Chris Lindstrom got injured. The first game of the season against the Vikings, he broke his foot and was out for about 10 weeks. So most of the season he was injured, and that really played a huge role. It was a catastrophic injury for the team, and the offensive line never recovered. They never got that time to gel, even in the preseason, because Caleb McGarry actually had a minor heart procedure. So those guys never got to gel up front. So I believe injuries played a huge part in the offensive line playing as bad as they played last year, because towards the end of the season, the back half of the season, the offensive line played much better as a unit. We finally got solidified the starting five, which it was Alex Mack, Jamon Brown, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry. I believe I named every single player on the offensive line, but all of those guys we were able to finally solidify the five guys up front, because pretty much all season we was mixing and matching guys because of injury. 1 week it was James Carpenter playing. The next week it was Jamon Brown playing. Then Jamon Brown went down with injury. Then Carpenter went down with injury. Caleb McGarry went down with injury. Chris Lindstrom went down with injury. So we just had a bunch of mixing and matching. And one of the things that is overlooked in the NFL is offensive line play and injuries to an offensive line. You have to build that chemistry up front. You have to gel as a unit when you're playing the offensive line position. Offensive line is one of the hardest positions to play in the game of football, because you have to be able to know the quarterback's cadence. You have to be able to know line calls. When the center, Alex Mack, calls out different line calls, you have to know when to make adjustments, when to slide over and help out the center if you're playing guard, when to slide out and help your tackle when someone's blitzing off the edge. So it's a ton of different communication issues that I really think went on last year, where our offensive line was really confused, and a lot of the times they were not in sync. They were not dancing as one, or dancing as one unit, moving together. They were kind of all over the place, and I really think that was a huge issue with our Atlanta Falcons. So I believe in this upcoming draft, I would go in and take an offensive lineman to try to come in and bolster the line. It doesn't have to be in the first round, but I believe it's time to bring in another guard/center, because we don't know how long Alex Mack really has left on how much tread he still has left on his tires. We don't know how long he's going to continue to play with our Atlanta Falcons, and we really don't know, how much money he's going to ask for once his contract is up. So we definitely need to bring somebody in that he can kind of tutor, or he can kind of mentor to be the next center. And we also need to bring somebody in that can possibly solidify the guard spot. If Jamon Brown can't get it together, or if Carpenter doesn't get it together this season, we definitely need somebody we can slide into that role. We did bring in the kid from the Cleveland Browns. I forget his name now. We did bring in another guard from the Cleveland Browns to try to come in and compete with those guys in training camp. So I think that that's going to be big as well. But the offensive line is definitely a huge part, a huge piece of the offense, definitely for the running game and for the passing game. A lot of people always talk about Matt Ryan not being mobile, and that's the reason he takes a lot of sacks and he holds on to the ball too long. I really don't think it's Matt Ryan as far as holding on to the ball too long when it comes to his sack numbers the last couple seasons. I just think that the offensive line hasn't played well as a unit. You don't have to have all first rounders on your offensive line to be a good offensive line. You just have to have players that are familiar with each other, that know the cadence, that know the line calls, and that are playing as one. So I believe if those guys can stay healthy, which was number one, the biggest question mark that I have is injuries. If our guys can stay healthy and those guys can play a number of weeks together consistently, I really think that will help our offensive line heading into this 2020 season. And I do expect the offensive line to play better because, as I said, I believe the offensive line would have played better last season if those guys didn't go down with injury early. But Chris Lindstrom went down with that injury early. He was the starter, so it just threw everything in a flux. Then we had to try to throw in Wes Schweitzer, and then they tried Jamon Brown, then they tried Carpenter. So it was a ton of kind of trial and error through the first 8 weeks of the season when we went 1-7. Also, as you know, number 3 on my list when it comes to biggest question marks, it will be the defensive line and stopping the run. So stopping the run and pass rush. So defensive line is number 3, one of the biggest question marks. I do think that we've done a great job the TD did a great job in bringing in Dante Fowler Jr. to come in and play that defensive end role, to take the place of Vic Beasley and to be the number 1 pass rusher on our team, to be that premier edge rusher that we needed. So I do think that TD has done a great job. He did a great job in bringing in Dante Fowler Jr., but I do think that we need to still bolster the inside, the interior of our line. I do like us keeping or re-signing Allen Bailey and Tyler Davison because they are big bodies you can put in the middle. But I want one elite, really big guy that can play the middle, that can play on third downs and pass rush, and who also can stop the run. And that's pretty much has long arms and is taller, because I feel like a lot of our guys that we do have that play that nose position, like a Grady Jarrett, like a Allen Bailey, like a Tyler Davison, even like a Deidre Sanat, they have short arms. We have a lot of guys that are shorter at that position. We don't have that tall, lengthy, physical guy that you can drop in the middle, like a Fletcher Cox, like a DeForest Buckner, that's like 6'4", 6'5", long arms, and really stout in the middle, like a Snacks Harrison or like a Linval Joseph to a lesser degree with the Vikings. We don't have that big plugger that we need inside that we can slide Grady Jarrett out to the 3 technique and allow him to take on have one-on-one matchups and not have those double teams all the time. So I think number 3 would be consistency and stopping the run, and then pass rush. But I recently listened to Dante Fowler Jr.'s interview that he did yesterday with the Atlanta Falcons, and he talked about rushing the passer is a privilege, but first you have to stop the run. And I love that he said that in his interview because it's so true. I feel like last year we complained about Vic Beasley not having high sack numbers. We complained about Tat McKinley and those guys not having high sack numbers. But to be honest, those guys really didn't even get the opportunity to pass rush a ton because we couldn't stop the run. And when you can't stop the run, you don't even get the opportunity to put teams in third and longs where you can try to get after the passer. Because a lot of times, because our team couldn't stop the run, we were in a lot of third and shorts on defense, 3rd and 5 and less, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. And when you have those short third down conversions, or those short third down, those short third downs where it's like 3rd and medium or 3rd and short, it's really hard to rush the passer because teams throw the ball short on those plays. They either run the ball or they throw the ball short. So it doesn't give pass rushers a chance or give them time to actually get to the quarterback. Because most of the time on 3rd and short, quarterbacks are not going to hold the ball. They're going to throw a quick slant. They're going to throw a quick out, or they're going to throw like a screen pass. They're going to throw a short pass right over the middle to the tight end. They're going to do a very quick pass where you're not like a 3-step drop where the defenders are not going to have enough time to try to bring pressure off the edge. So I feel like stopping the run goes hand in hand with being able to rush the passer and to get pressure on the quarterback. And that's the biggest reason why we need to draft a nose tackle, a pure one tech or a guy that can play the one tech and play the three tech. So I think it's going to be huge if we can go in and get a Derek Brown, a Javon Kinlaw, or a Ross Blacklock. Those are my three top players in the middle. Also, my fourth player was Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. Those are the four guys that I would like to see the Atlanta Falcons draft in this upcoming NFL draft that can help stop the run and also help the pass rush. Because if you can limit teams' rushing yards, like on first and second down, and you get to 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 10s and 3rd and 9s, those longer third down conversions, that gives Dante Fowler Jr. time to get to the pass off the edge. It gives Pat McKinley and John Kaminsky and those guys and Stephen Means and all those guys. It's going to give those guys time to get after the passer and get to the passer, where they can't just do a quick 3-step drop. Then they have to hold the ball, because on a long third down conversion, like a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, those 3rd and mediums, it's a lot harder to convert. And it makes the quarterback hold on to the ball longer. If it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3 or even 3rd and 5, you don't necessarily have to hold on to the ball that long. You can really just throw the ball, throw a quick slant or throw a quick curl route and pick up a first down. So I think that was one of the biggest issues with our players not getting a lot of high sack numbers, because we didn't do a good job of stopping the run. We didn't do a good job of making the offense play on our terms. And what I mean by our terms is we shut down your run game. We only allow 1 and 2 yards to carry, and we make you have 3rd and longs where you have to hold the ball and do a 5 to 7 step drop, which gives those guys time to get after the passer, or even gives those guys time to drum up some type of pass rush with a blitz package. But if it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, a lot of times teams are scared to blitz in that scenario, because you can just throw a quick slant behind somebody that's blitzing, like a linebacker or something like that, and pick up a quick first down, or throw a quick swing pass to a running back on 3rd and short. So most of the time, because we were in 3rd and shorts, we refused to even attempt to blitz teams, because we were afraid that they were going to easily pick up first down. So that's my third biggest question mark, is going to be the defensive line, being able to stop the run, being able to limit rushing yards and limit the amount of yards per carry, and also eliminate those 3rd and shorts and try to extend or make teams have more 3rd and mediums and 3rd and longs, which will help our pass rush out. And then the fourth thing and the last thing that I think is the biggest question mark for our Atlanta Falcons this season will be making the correct decisions when it comes to coaching. To me, last year, Dan Quinn and those guys did wait a little bit. They waited a little too long to make the adjustments that they made. I was one of the advocates for saying that Dan Quinn wasn't going to get fired and that Dan Quinn and the team was going to turn it around in the second half. But I don't think that Dan Quinn made the switch fast enough. I think the adjustments that were made should have been made earlier in the season. Should have been made by like week 5 or 6. Well, we made them at week 8, which was our bye week. So I definitely think that coaching is going to be key. Also, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Meaning last year, another bad coaching decision that was made by Dan Quinn and those guys was trying to move DeMonte Casey back to the corner position. They should have let DeMonte Casey stay at the safety position. He is a pure free safety that you can use in the center field. He's a ball hawk. He does a good job of using his instincts. And when you're playing the cornerback position, using your instincts is not as easy as when you see in the full field and when you're the last line of defense playing that single high safety role, kind of like a outfielder in baseball, where you can see everything is out in front of you. You can see what's going on, and you can basically use your instincts. And I think DeMonte Casey's biggest asset for our Atlanta Falcons and his biggest skill set is his ball hawking ability, his ability to fly around, be around the football, and have a nose for the football, to know where the ball is going. He's good at using his instincts, reading quarterbacks' eyes, and he's also good at laying big hits and, taking a football away, whether it's forcing a fumble or whether it's getting an interception. DeMonte Casey is definitely one of the keys to our defense, one of the X factors in the secondary for our defense. But I feel like even with Keanu Neal coming back, I wouldn't adjust Demonte Casey's position. I would leave him at that free safety role. I would try to move Keanu Neal into that box safety role, or try to move him down closer to the line in that Devondre Campbell role as a linebacker. Him and Afoya Oluokun. I would rotate those guys, and I would let Keanu Neal play more of a linebacker role on this team. I wouldn't leave him out on the island. I wouldn't put him back at safety. And mainly because Keanu Neal was never a great coverage player anyway. He was more of a guy that was a great tackler, would lay the boom on guys and, keep players nervous about crossing the middle, because they knew if they did cross the middle, Keanu Neal was going to lay them out. So I think his biggest role to this team is being a solid tackler and being an intimidator. So I would use Keanu Neal in a role of playing down in the box closer to the line and allowing him to blitz, allowing him to make tackles, for loss on the running backs, meaning putting him in the box, closer to the box, where he can be like that Cam Chancellor. He'll be that thumper that comes downhill and make tackles for our team. But I would leave Demonte Casey at that free safety position, because he's proven that he's a Pro Bowl caliber player when we leave him back there and allow him to do what he does best, which is follow his instincts and his nose for the football. I also would leave Ricardo Allen at that strong safety role. I would still allow him to play the strong safety role. He did a good job last year. As you know, Ricardo Allen is one of the smarter safeties in the game, one of the smarter minds in the game of football. He has a great football mind, very cerebral, knows how to read plays, knows route concepts and things of that nature. So he's not the best athlete as far as Ricardo Allen, but he makes up for his athleticism with his wittiness and his knowledge for the game, and knowing tendencies and knowing where guys and what guys are going to do before they do it. So I definitely would leave KZ and Ricardo Allen back at those safety roles. I would, cement them at those roles. I wouldn't allow anybody to come in and take those positions unless we somehow draft a safety. But I definitely would not try to move Keanu Neal back out to safety. I would mainly try to use him in big nickel situations and use him mainly as a linebacker. But with that being said, this being your boy Jew, let me know what you guys think of all of the things that I mentioned in this video. Tell me what you think about this upcoming season, and tell me what you think about my question marks for this season. But I'll holler at you guys in the next video, and I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave the page, and that like button. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace out, and I love you guys.